Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Joe Stunner Boxing. A happy Sunday to all of you. By now, you will have seen, and if you haven't, why not? David Benavidez outpointing David Morrell in a fantastic fight. Absolutely brilliant fight between two guys at their absolute zenith, colliding, both undefeated. One 28 years of age, one 27 years of age, both over 6 feet tall. 175 pounders. What a fight. They had everything, slugging, beautiful boxing, high ring IQ, a knockdown, point taken off, you name it. It was a fantastic, fantastic fight. But let's ask ourselves, what is next for the winner, David Benavidez? No problem with David Morrell. He can come again. No problem, 27 years old. His first defeat in, 12 fights? There's no shame if you fight the very best, and that's what we want to see. You can come back. Can you seriously tell me that David Morrell's stock hasn't risen after that excellent performance? Losing performance, but nevertheless an excellent performance against a really, really excellent fighter. But the winner, David Benavidez, both these guys, of course, ducked by Canelo. I think probably the idea of going back down to 168 is probably not very appealing to either of these guys, especially the winner Benavidez, because Canelo ain't going to fight him. Not at this point of his career. Don't forget he's, 5'8", roughly. You're talking about Benavidez 6'2", Morrell 6'1", and Benavidez is just going to be like, well, no, all right, you don't want to fight me, That's on your legacy. I'm prepared to fight you. So what's he going to do next? Well, at 175, there's only really one answer, and that is the winner of the rematch between Bivol and Beterbiev. Now, I thought Bivol edged the first fight. It was a very close fight. I loved that fight. Massive respect for both guys. I thought Bivol was a winner by a point or two. Wouldn't have argued with a draw, but I thought he was a bit hard done by to lose. He lost unanimously, didn't he? And that's I'm not taking anything away from Beterbiev, who is an incredible fighter. Was he now 40, 41 now? They're going to have their rematch in about a month's time. Well, no, less than that. 3 weeks' time, isn't it? About 3 weeks' time now. And I can't wait for it. As you know, it's an incredible February the 22nd card over in Riyadh. Not a dud fight on the whole card. Just get prepared for it. But at the top of the creme de la creme, if you like, they say the cream rises, isn't it? On the other hand, sometimes shit floats, but that's another thing. But they say the cream rises, and at the very top of that excellent card is the rematch between Beterbiev and Bivol. Now, although I thought Bivol won the first fight, edged it, it's perfectly feasible that he could beat Beterbiev convincingly this time. On the other hand, it's perfectly feasible that Beterbiev could beat him convincingly, because once you've fought already and you've done those 36 minutes of fighting, you can go back, look at what you did, look at what he did, look at what you should have done, look at what you did but shouldn't have done. You can balance it all up, and it's just who turns up on the night. And I fully expect both these fighters to be, at their absolute optimum, physical, mental, emotional, psychological, top of their game, absolute top of their game. Now, let's say that Bivol wins. Bivol versus Benavidez. Great fight, really good fight. A skillful technician who can fight, who's teeth tough, excellent jaw, managed to, for large portions of the first fight with Beterbiev, managed to defuse that bomb, and definitely won rounds and fought when he had to as well. So that would be a great fight. But if Beterbiev wins and fights Benavidez, oh my God, that is an atom bomb of a fight. Look at the styles. Benavidez, a come forward, constant pressure fighter, very high ring IQ, likes to fire all sorts of punches, likes to work the body, slips and slides, when he needs to, but generally speaking, feints his way in. And the moment he's in range, he's throwing punches, not singles, but clusters, salvos. Remind you of anyone? Might remind you of someone called Artur Beterbiev, because he does pretty much the same thing. And when you put these two together, what are you going to get other than, I mean, you're splitting the atom, aren't you? This is a atom bomb, hydrogen bomb, Armageddon, you name it. It's going to be an explosion of a fight. So a part of me, although I have no horse in the race regarding Beterbiev and Bivol, you know, may the best man win. I love both fighters. A little part of me thinks, win or lose, I'd love to see Beterbiev. Well, definitely a big part of me thinks, win or lose, I'd like to see Beterbiev take on Benavidez before Beterbiev does get too old, because, as they say, time is undefeated. Beterbiev does live the life, you know, no doubt about it. He's preserved himself, but, you know, he had that life and not life and death, but he had to work hard in the fight against Yard. Had to work hard in the fight against Yard. He's a poet and didn't know it, but, you know, there were little pockets there where Yard was asking questions, and Yard is a very physically strong light heavy for all his shortcomings. You know, the guy can fight a bit. He's very athletic, and he gave, although Beterbiev clearly, I mean, obviously he stopped him, but he was winning most of the rounds. Nevertheless, Yard made Beterbiev think. Now, if you put Benavidez in there, who I think is far better than Yard at 175, let's not forget that Benavidez and Morrell, for that matter, have only had 2 fights at 175. Prior to that, they were 168 pounders. God knows how they made that weight, but they did, because they both look like big, strong, light heavies. But Benavidez, I think, is definitely, particularly at the age he is, he's only 28 years old, is definitely capable of giving Beterbiev all he can handle, because he does look like he's settled into the 175 poundage. And now he's had, you know, 2 12-rounders against good opponents. Vosdik was a very good debut for a new weight class. Now he's beaten Morrell, who was excellent. Going in there with Beterbiev, the age he is, he's at his peak. Why wait? Why not? You know, I mean, you can't really wait unless you're actually waiting to age out Beterbiev, which is I'm not interested in. So I want to see Benavidez fight the winner of Bivol versus Beterbiev. Bivol versus Benavidez, no problem with that fight. Looks like a good one to me. I'd watch it in a flash. But Benavidez against Beterbiev, oh yeah, oh hell yeah. And if Bivol was to beat Beterbiev in the rematch, they would probably, I would imagine, aim for a third fight, a decider, and make it a trilogy. Why not? But if Beterbiev wins again, there probably won't be a third fight. And what's the obvious choice of opponent would be Benavidez. So I want to see this fight. I want to see both the fights, but massive respect to David Benavidez and to David Morrell as well for putting on an incredible performance of highly skillful box fighting, both of them. Both with fantastic engines, great chins. It was a privilege to watch that fight last night, and hopefully they can keep that momentum going. And both of them can build their own legacy without hanging around waiting for Canelo. Canelo's ducked them, all right, ducked them both, especially Benavidez. He definitely ducked Benavidez. Well, you know what? That's on your legacy. If you're the guy being ducked, go away and create your own legacy. And I think that's what both these guys are doing. And Morrell will be back, but Benavidez is flying at the moment. I think he's absolutely at the pinnacle, the top of his game after that performance yesterday. And of course, a rematch between those two, Morrell and Benavidez. Great. I'd watch it in an instant. I mean, what a brilliant rematch that would be. And if Morrell turned the tables, maybe they'd have a trilogy. I mean, there are options at 175. 175's hotting up because a lot of people were saying, well, it's all Bivol versus Beterbiev. If those two, you take them out of the equation, who is there at 175? I think we've got our answer now. So what do you think? What fights would you like to see made? Leave your comments below as usual. As always, if you did enjoy this video, please hit the like button because you're helping us out, and give the old subscription button a whack and all if you're new in town. And yeah, thank you for your time as always. I'm looking forward to reading your comments like I always do. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Bye for now.